All rentals. That's all I have to say. It's all about the rentals. Even if you buy a house that's brand new and you buy a house that's completed, you still want to do a rental. I know how it is. I've done it millions of times. But this episode, I'm going to explain to you 6 important steps from start to finish. When you want to start a rental, you should be watching this video. There's a lot of good key tips here. So let's roll the logo and get this video started. But my pig keeps distracting me. You want to see her? If you're wondering, she's only 50 pounds. She just looks big in the camera. So, my name is Steve Sampaio. I'm from Vintage Ideas, and I'm gonna give you an idea of what a rental entails. But first and foremost, if you like country and anything country, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. We do everything from country tours to country rustic furniture, home rental, all that fun stuff. And that's what we do right here on this channel. So make sure you subscribe. So now down to the video. So we are shooting this video in a room that we are renovating, actually in my own house. In this room that you see behind me, this is my office, well, will be my office, and also my studio that I'm creating here for YouTube and so many other things we're gonna do in this space. So that's why I wanted to do this video, because we've done step 1 and we got many other steps to go still. But in this video, I'm gonna give you 6 important steps to do your own rental. So let's start off with step number 1. So step number 1 is soul searching. Literally, you gotta find yourself. What is it, the style that you like, that you, your wife, or just you and whoever else in your house like? What style do you like? Do you like modern, traditional, contemporary? Do you like country chic? Do you like farmhouse? I live in a farmhouse. I have about 12 acres of property with a lot of forest around. So I am obviously farmhouse, country chic in my house. But what is your favorite style? Now, it's extremely important that that's the #1 thing that you think of. You don't want to go into a rental not knowing what you want. Do you want to go modern? Do you want to go contemporary? Do you want to go traditional? Do you want to go country chic? Know what you want first, okay? Because that's going to dictate the flow throughout the rest of the house. Especially if this is a brand new house or a house that you just bought, which is a huge gut job. You want to know what flow you want to bring throughout the rest of the house. You don't want one room that's modern and the other room is rustic. So do some soul searching and know what style you want first. That's tip number 1. And tip number 2, I like to call it materials. What kind of materials do you want to see in the space, okay? Do you like to see stone? Do you like to see wood? Do you like the idea of having carpets? Do you like to see, like, what colors do you like? Do you like wainscoting? Do you like crown molding? Do you like barn beams or false beams? Or if you're going modern, do you like a nice clean slate with like marbles and granites and stuff like that? So in this space that I have here, we are doing barn board. Okay, as you can see some samples here. So we're gonna do barn board, brown board. We just created this German schmear on this old brick, and I'll show you a before picture right now. So we did a German schmear, and I'll have a video on our channel once completed, how to do a German schmear. German schmear, we're gonna do shiplap on the ceiling. We're gonna do false beams. But as you can see, I have a couple different materials there. So we still continue with the brick. We're gonna do some beams with wood, shiplap being wood also. We're gonna do hardwood floors, right? And so we have an idea of materials that we wanna use in this space. In other rooms in my house, we have stone, we have wood. So materials, that was point number 2. Know which materials you wanna use in your space, okay? Point number 3, another very important one. You have to go online and do some motivational search, okay? So look for pictures that makes you happy. You know, go onto Google search. There's an amazing app that you can get for your phones called Houzz, Houzz. In that app, you can literally find exactly what you're looking for. So look for pictures of other people's work they've done in their house that that you want in your place. I'm not saying copy it, but at least get an idea of what you want. Some people don't know exactly the look they want for their place. They know they want a stone fireplace, but what color stone? Do you want a dry stack? Do you want it grouted? Do you want a burn beam? Do you want a Douglas fir, more cleaner modern beam? So these are things that you'll be able to find looking at pictures of other people's work. So Google search it. Just on the Google search, type in exactly the look you want. I want a modern kitchen. It'll give you modern kitchen pictures. House, H-O-U-Z-Z, like I mentioned. You got Pinterest. Look for pictures, print them, save them on your phone. Collect some ideas that way. That is very important. So, number 3, motivational pictures is what I like to call them. So that's a very important one. I even still get motivational pictures for my work that I do in my own personal residence. So motivational pictures. Tip number 4, you know something? It's the flow of a room, okay? And I know it sounds dumb, but the flow of a room. How do you want the room to flow? Where do you want the couch? Where do you want the bed? This will dictate what goes on that wall when you're doing the reno. As for example, if you want a couch on one wall, okay, where is that fireplace gonna be, or that TV gonna be, right? These are things that you have to know before you get into a reno. Obviously, it's very simple when you walk into a room. You can sort of figure out exactly where you want that furniture, right? But it's very important that you know exactly, okay, I want a couch right here, and I'm gonna put my TV right there. So this way here, when you're designing the space, it all works in conjunction with your furniture when you bring it into this space after the reno is done. So it's the flow of a room. Make sure you know the flow of how you want your room to be done. So the reason why it's important to know your flow is because you want to know where you're going to put your pot lights, as for example in your ceiling. So if you have a room like this where there's 3 pot lights running this way, there's nothing on this side. Well, I know I'm going to have my desks on this side, so I know that I'm going to need lighting over those desks. So I'm going to put some pot lights along here. So as I said, the flow of a room is very important. Where you're going to put your lighting. So just keep that in mind. The flow of a room, it's not just your furniture, it's also your lighting fixtures, where you're gonna put plugs, where you're gonna put switches. So where you're gonna have that desk, where you're gonna have the internet, where you need to have your internet Cat 5 wire there for hook up your router and all that stuff. So these are things that you need to know, again, part of the flow of a room. Tip number 5, are you a DIYer or are you a type of person that hires a contractor? Well, that's a good one to know also. So let's start off with DIY. If you are a DIYer, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I started off as a DIYer, now I do this as a profession. But I'm just very important that you know this. If you're gonna be a DIYer and you wanna tackle on this reno by yourself, that's okay. As long as you understand and know what you're doing, that's what matters. There is a couple of reasons why. If you want to be a DIYer, you've never done it before, you actually could do an amazing job, or you can actually devalue the value of your house. I've seen some DIY projects where it just went, wow, it was like a horrible job, and it probably brought down the value of their home instead of making it better in value. So keep that in mind. Again, nothing wrong with DIYer. Some DIYers just want to paint, but they want to call in a pro to do the hardwood floor. They want to call in the pro to install the stone. Hire those people, just do what you're comfortable with. So keep that in mind if you're going to be a DIYer. Also, I highly recommend watching YouTube videos. YouTube videos, okay, who are doing things right, who are doing things wrong. Read the comments per video. Look at the likes and the dislikes of a video. If it's got a lot of likes, not many dislikes, that's a good sign. Read the comments. Sometimes you'll get professional contractors making a comment on a video saying, hey, you're doing this all wrong. Or, hey, something that's pretty good. So read the comments on a YouTube video. And remember, look for the likes and dislikes on a video. That's one way of doing it. But something, my personal opinion, and I've seen it before, hire people to do the jobs that you're not comfortable or you're not 100% comfortable in. For example, I nowadays hire tilers to install tile in my house. I hire painters to paint my house because I don't have patience to paint. So I'd rather hire somebody to do a good job and to cut the colors properly and the corners than make a mess, and that would be me. So that's why I don't paint. Okay, let's talk about contractors. So how to select a contractor. So, you know something, one thing that I think is very important is they have to have some sort of online presence. If they have a website, a social media account, if it's Facebook, if it's Instagram, if they have a Google account so you can see reviews that people have made on the company, that's very important. I like to see the work of a contractor, what a contractor's done in the past. As for example, last summer I hired a landscaping company for my house, and I've seen some of the work, not only in person, but also through pictures, and I contracted them, and they did a fantastic job. So online presence is very important. Second, obviously, hiring a contractor is referrals. If you know somebody who has used a contractor for something, then you know that's another way of doing it too, is referrals. Now, selecting a contractor. Depending on the type of work you're doing, if you're getting into electrical or plumbing, you should be getting certified contractors right off the top, okay? Don't mind my pig, she's coming to visit me right now. Rosie, I'm having a meeting with my followers here. What are you doing? I'll show you a video. Okay, anyways, so when you're doing, what was I saying again? You ruined my train of thought, Rosie. Okay. The other thing about a contractor, guys, depending on the type of work you're doing, if you're hiring a painter, no problem. Hire a painter. If you're hiring, though, a big gut job contractor, so you're hiring a contractor to come in and bulldoze walls out of the way, move electrical here and there, do some plumbing for you, then I would recommend, okay, taking out a permit. Now, the permit here in Ontario, at least, you have to take out a permit if you're doing a really big job or you're moving walls, supporting walls. If you're moving a lot of electrical, doing a lot of plumbing, you have to take out a permit. And what happens is the city then sends inspectors out to come inspect the work that your contractors are doing in your house. That's to protect you, because obviously there's a lot of contractors out there that are shoemakers and they don't know what they're doing, and you don't want them messing around with your house, okay? So that's very important. The other thing about a contractor you should be looking for is liability insurance. Liability insurance is very important because if anything happens, at least they have insurance to back you up. WSIB, if they're coming in with a crew of guys, you want to make sure that their staff are all covered with WSIB. Ask for a certificate from the company and they'll be able to provide that for you. And another thing about hiring a contractor, if you're gonna go out there and take 2-3 quotes and get 2-3 quotes from contractors, keep in mind, do not always go for the cheapest one. A lot of people do tend to go that route because they feel like getting the cheapest dollar on a contractor, they're able to spend money elsewhere. Well, you might actually be making a bigger mess in your house, and that's not good, okay? So what I mean by that is, there's reasons why companies are this much, and there's reasons why companies are this much. And the reasons why is a company that's this high in price is because they have probably a huge crew of guys, and obviously you know what labor rates are here in North America. Okay, they're also paying insurances, they're also paying WSIB, they're also paying, they're also buying proper equipment, and they have probably like a warehouse full of proper equipment, trucks and all that. And this is the reasons why the costs of hiring a company like that are this high. Where a company that's this low, they might not have all those proper insurances that you require to do your job. They might not be thinking of investing into proper new equipment. So these are the reasons why. It's a catch-22. Do you go for the proper, more expensive company, or you go for the cheaper company that might do a good job, might not do a good job? Sometimes people go for the middle guy. You know, this is actually a gut feeling that you're gonna have to choose. I can't really do that for you. But with me, for example, with my company, I think our pricing is probably in the middle. We're not the cheapest, we're not the most expensive, and we get a lot of happy clients in the middle. So keep that in mind. Another thing in a contractor that you have to keep in mind, that's something you're gonna wanna get, is a good customer service and warranty on any of the products that they're putting in your house. Last thing you want is, you call the company a year later and they're no longer in business, or they won't help you because they'll make excuses that it wasn't their fault. You're gonna have to feel out those companies who's gonna be able to provide you those customer services. With me, for example, we do, and because if my products are in your house, they have to look good all the time. If it's a year from now, if it's 5 years from now, my products have to look good. They represent me and my company. But the companies that you choose, make sure the customer service and the warranties are there. Now, and the final point, number 6, is budgets. Budget. Listen, I do all the work myself pretty much in this house, besides tile and besides painting, like I told you. But I still set myself a budget also, okay? Budgets are important, but I would also recommend having a buffer budget. So what that is I am comfortable on spending $20,000. But if I need to, I have access to another $10,000 as a buffer. You need that. The reason being is if you're buying a gutter job, like a house that's old, like my house here, my house is an old farmhouse, you start taking drywall off the wall, and now you're dealing with mold, and then you're dealing with improper construction from way back in the day, which you have to update to today. There's so many things that you need that buffer budget. So plan a budget that you're comfortable in spending. Now, if you absolutely, because once the project starts, you can't finish, if you absolutely need a couple of dollars more, you have that buffer budget. So budget and buffer budget, 2 budgets. Now, talking about budgets. If you get quotes to get a job done, and let's just say your quotes are between $15,000 and $20,000, that's for an example, okay? To do this one reno in your house, $15,000 to $20,000. And let's just say your budget's only $10,000. If I was you, I would stop right there. Don't continue, don't pass go, stop. Reason being is you're gonna do shortcuts, and that's not what you want, okay? You wanna do it the way you want it, the way you've envisioned it, okay? Either you change your whole idea of that reno, okay, and what elements you want in there. Instead of doing stone, do concrete veneer for a fireplace. Or instead of doing stone and veneer, do a German schmear, which is a lot more cost effective. Instead of doing hardwoods, and do like carpets. Like, these are things they're gonna implement, they're gonna affect the way you feel about the room from what you wanted to what you just, okay, I'm okay with it. And that's not what you want. If I was you, just save a little bit more and get what you want. That's the key here, right? This is your home. You gotta feel comfortable being in your home, and you wanna feel like you're at home. So don't do a project just because, you have this much budget, but you really need this much budget to do that job. So keep these things in mind. When you have enough money to do the project, then do it, okay? And I've told a couple clients that in the past, and they've called me like a couple months later saying, hey Steve, I'm ready now. And that's the way to do it, there's nothing wrong with that. So that's tip number 6, and there's no more tips. So if you like those 6 tips, guys, and I hope you did, and I hope they're helpful, and first of all, and if you have to make a comment below. If you need extra advice on something, guys, please, it's free to contact me. I will post in the bottom my Instagram and my Facebook page. So just go that route, send me a message. I'll be happy enough to answer any of your questions. If you're from Ontario, if you're from around the world, they're pretty much all the same anyway. So just send me a message and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Now, talking about this room here, if you do subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications, you will see a video on how to do a German schmear like this, which will be coming up soon to our channel. And I'm also going to be posting another video in this room when it's all completed and done, with the barn board, the shiplap, and the false beams, the beams. We're going to do custom made desks I'm going to build for this room. And these are all videos that are all going to be coming up to our channel. So make sure subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. So for now, you home rental people, go do that reno, okay? Support local businesses too. Support local businesses in your town. And you know something? I hope you guys have a great reno. And please leave a comment. I'll be happy enough to answer any of your questions for you, okay? Talk to you later next time.